I used to think the strangest part of my mornings was how hard it was to wake up. That changed the day I woke up with dirt under my nails. At first it didn't feel like a horror story. It felt like a mistake. A small, forgettable detail you laugh about while making coffee. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, sunlight pushing through the blinds in thin stripes across the room, staring at my hands like they belonged to someone else. Dark soil was packed beneath every fingernail, wedged deep as if I had been clawing at the ground for hours. When I scraped one nail against another, little crumbs fell onto the bedsheet like coffee grounds. I even smelled it. Wet earth. Cold. Fresh. Real. I lived on the third floor of an apartment building. No garden. No plants. No hobbies that involved digging holes in the middle of the night. So I washed it off and went to work. I would have forgotten it completely if it hadn't happened again the next morning. This time the dirt was deeper, harder to remove. My fingertips ached faintly, like I'd spent the night gripping something heavy. I scrubbed longer than usual, trying to convince myself it was nothing, but the uneasiness stuck to me the rest of the day like static. At lunch, my best friend Maya grabbed my hand mid-conversation and turned it palm up. "Why are your hands scratched?" she asked. Thin red lines crossed my palms like paper cuts. I laughed it off, said stress, bad sleep, too much caffeine. The lie sounded weak even to me. That night I wrapped my fingertips in medical tape before bed. Every finger sealed tight. If I was somehow scratching the walls in my sleep, this would stop it. Or at least prove it. I woke up to sunlight, and dirt. The tape lay neatly peeled off on my bedside table, folded carefully like someone had removed it one finger at a time. That was the morning the laughter stopped. I went to a sleep specialist named Dr. Carter. Calm voice. Soft lighting. The kind of office designed to make fear feel silly. He talked about sleepwalking, stress, parasomnias. He told me it was common. He told me it was manageable. He told me to track my sleep and set up a camera. So I did. I placed the camera on my dresser, aimed directly at the bed, and went to sleep feeling hopeful for the first time in days. I woke up with dirt under my nails. The camera battery was dead. Completely drained. The dream came that night. Not like a dream, exactly. More like a memory wearing a dream's disguise. I was kneeling outside in moonlight, digging frantically with my bare hands. Soil cold and damp against my skin. Grass brushing my knees. My heart pounding as if something depended on finishing the hole before time ran out. I never saw what I was digging for. The next weekend, Maya helped me search the city. We walked neighborhoods, parks, streets lined with houses that all blurred together after a while. Every crooked tree made my chest tighten. Every fenced yard felt familiar in a way I couldn't explain. Then we found it. A rusted fence. A tree leaning slightly to the left. A patch of yard where grass struggled to grow. I had never seen the house before. And yet I knew exactly where to stand. The police didn't laugh when we told them. Detective Rowan Briggs listened quietly and slid a missing person photo across the table. The boy in the picture looked vaguely familiar, but it was the hands that made my stomach drop. Long fingers. Narrow nails. Hands that looked like mine. 10 years ago. The year I moved to the city. The year my childhood memories started feeling foggy around the edges. That night Maya stayed over. She watched as my body got out of bed at 3:12 a.m. without my permission. My eyes stayed closed while my hands unlocked the front door like they'd done it 1,000 times. We followed the path back to the yard. Moonlight painted everything silver as I knelt at the bare patch of earth and began digging with terrifying determination. The soil gave way easily, as if it remembered me. The shovel hit wood with a hollow sound. We pulled the box free together. Dirt slid from its sides in soft cascades. Inside were photographs. Old ones. Of me as a child. Standing in that yard. Beside the missing boy. The memories came back all at once. A game. A fall. Panic. A mistake that felt too big to survive. Dirt thrown in frantic handfuls while the world stayed silent. I woke the next morning with clean hands for the first time in weeks. I thought it was over. Until that afternoon, when I noticed dirt under my nails again. Fresh. Wet. Packed deep. And this time I knew the truth. The digging had never stopped. Because something else was still buried out there. Waiting for me to remember where. I used to think mornings were predictable. Alarm. Coffee. Phone. Shower. Work. That routine used to feel boring. Comforting, even. I never realized how much safety lived inside repetition until the morning something small broke it. The first time I woke up with dirt under my nails, I didn't think it meant anything. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, still half asleep, sunlight sliding through the blinds in pale yellow stripes that stretched across the floor. My brain hadn't fully started working yet. Everything felt slow and distant, like the world was buffering. Then I noticed my hands. At first it didn't register as strange. It looked like dust. Or maybe lint. But when I rubbed my thumb across my fingertips, the texture was wrong. Gritty. Damp. Real. Dark soil packed deep beneath every nail, wedged in tight as if it had been pushed there by hours of pressure. I scraped one nail against another and watched tiny crumbs fall onto the bedsheet like coffee grounds. That was the moment the smell hit me. Wet earth. Cold. Fresh. The kind of smell you only notice after rain. I lived on the third floor of an apartment building. No balcony. No plants. No hobbies that involved digging in the middle of the night. I washed my hands and told myself I must have tracked it in somehow. My brain offered explanations quickly, generously, desperately. Maybe I'd dropped something outside yesterday. Maybe I'd leaned against a wall. Maybe I was overthinking. The brain loves, maybe. It hates, why. The next morning, the dirt came back. This time it was deeper, harder to remove, packed so tight it hurt when I tried to scrape it out. My fingertips throbbed faintly, like muscles after heavy work. I remember standing at the sink longer than usual, scrubbing harder than necessary, staring at my reflection in the mirror as if it might offer an answer. It didn't. That day at lunch, Maya grabbed my hand mid-conversation. Maya had known me for years. She noticed things other people didn't. That's part of why she scared me sometimes. "Why are your hands scratched?" she asked. Thin red lines crossed my palms like paper cuts. I laughed. Said stress. Said bad sleep. Said anything that would make the conversation move on. But the truth had already started whispering in the back of my head. That night I wrapped my fingertips in medical tape before bed. Every finger sealed carefully. If I was scratching the walls in my sleep, this would prove it. I fell asleep feeling proud of my solution. I woke up to sunlight. And dirt. The tape was gone. Not torn. Not ripped. Peeled off neatly and stacked on the bedside table like someone had removed it carefully, one finger at a time. That was the morning the fear became real. I went to a sleep specialist named Dr. Carter. Calm voice. Soft lighting. The kind of office designed to make fear feel unreasonable. He asked about stress, caffeine, childhood sleepwalking. He nodded thoughtfully and told me it was common. Manageable. Explainable. He suggested sleep tracking and a camera. So I bought one. I placed the camera on my dresser, pointed directly at the bed, and went to sleep feeling hopeful for the first time in days. Morning came. Dirt under my nails. The camera battery was dead. Completely drained. I remember standing there holding the camera, feeling something shift inside my chest. That was the moment the world stopped feeling predictable. The dream came that night. Except it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like a memory wearing a disguise. I was kneeling outside in cold moonlight, digging with my bare hands. Soil packed beneath my nails as I clawed through the earth with frantic urgency. My heart pounded like something terrible would happen if I stopped. I never saw what I was digging for. I just knew it mattered. That weekend, Maya helped me search the city. Neighborhood after neighborhood blurred together. Every crooked tree made my chest tighten. Every fenced yard felt familiar in a way I couldn't explain. Then I saw it. A rusted fence. A tree leaning slightly left. A patch of yard where grass struggled to grow. I had never seen the house before. And yet I knew exactly where to stand. The police didn't laugh when we told them. Detective Rowan Briggs slid a missing person photo across the desk. The resemblance wasn't exact. But the hands. The hands looked like mine. 10 years ago. The year I moved to the city. The year my childhood memories started feeling foggy around the edges. That night, Maya stayed over. At 3:12 a.m., my body got out of bed without asking me. My eyes stayed closed. My hands unlocked the front door like they'd done it 1,000 times. We followed the path back to the yard under cold moonlight. I knelt at the bare patch of earth and began digging with terrifying determination.